Hello everybody, it's Donna here from Embrace the Moon Tarot, and I am just going to make this a very quick intro and say that I'm really sorry that I haven't been doing the Tarotscopes lately, but all the feelings and the energy that has been available, I've been feeling all of them. Or at least I feel like I have been. So I've been kind of making myself a little bit of a hermit, but let's see if I can get back into the swing of these and start with February's reading. So let's begin. Hello Capricorns, and welcome to February 2018 readings. And I am just focusing on mind, body, heart, and soul for this reading, for this month's reading. And as I was shuffling the cards, I was immediately giving this vision of the tiny sliver of sunshine. I was actually visualizing the sign of Capricorn, and you know how it has that little loop at the end of that, what looks like an N. Through that, I was seeing this tiny, tiny little ray of, like, the sun was just kind of squeezing its eye open just a little bit and shining just a little bit of light. So it kind of went with that as I was shuffling. Oof, now I can't talk. So that's the kind of energy I'm tapping into as you are leaving January and entering into February. And it's not, like I said, it's not that the sun is shining all its glorious rays and warmth down on you as much as you're just getting that peak. And the thing is it feels like very much to the, like I said, it feels like the eye is opened. The sun has opened one eye, and you know how sometimes when you're tired or whatever, you close it back again. And then you open it, and you might do that a couple times. I feel like that's a bit of the vibration that you're going to be getting as you're entering in February. You get a peek of it, and then it goes away. Then you get a peek of it, and it goes away. But the good side of that is I really feel that what's coming along with that is that eventually it's going to open up completely. Slowly, it'll stop closing. It'll stay open for you, but a little bit of sunshine, a little bit of warmth is kind of coming your way for the month of February. So tapping into the Magician card for mental, and it's really interesting because we have rays of light coming out of this particular card's depiction's eyes, and it's coming from a connection with the third eye, and whatever it is that you have going on, that the sunshine's kind of coming towards you, the warmth and the light that's coming towards you, I feel is more connected. Some of you it's health, and some of you it's spiritual. And there's a few that those might actually be connected. This is a general reading, so I'm trying to tap into as much without trying to be too confusing. But yeah, some of you it's spiritual, and some of you it is physical. But either way, I just feel that in general, because the sun is slowly starting to peak, and I feel that a lot of you that'll notice that kind of little bit of a peak and then go away, and then the peak of ray and then go away in the beginning of February, there's going to be moments of frustration, and then, you know, followed by possible moments of questioning. Did I really see or feel or think what I thought I did? But just as the month progresses and that continues, you'll notice that it is like, you know, someone who's opening their eyes in the morning and then they close, and they do that a couple times. You hit the snooze button a couple times before you finally get up, and that's a bit of the energy that's coming. And as you progress through the month of February and you notice that that is the actual what's happening with that vibration, there's going to be a sense of being able to tap in to that and feeling like, oh, now I can finally do whatever it is that I felt that I've been wanting to do. I finally feel like I can conquer whatever has been kind of coming my way, or has been holding me back, or making me feel a bit, I don't want to say oppressed, but we'll just use that word. So that feeling of, you know, being a magician, you know, having all the magical tools and realizing that finally it's your turn to shine, finally it's your turn to rise, finally it's your turn to be able to step forth and do whatever it is that you have been thinking that you've wanted to do, but haven't felt like you've been given the blessing to move forward with it, or whatever the case may be. So this is, you know, like I said, that sun peeking down on you is going to happen in the beginning of February, but the realization of it stopping hitting the snooze button is going to be more towards the middle of February. So this tapping into that mental awareness of, yes, it's my time to shine, my time to rise, that's going to be more towards the middle of February. Not exactly the middle, but, you know, kind of flowing into that point of the month. As a result of this, physically, there's going to be I feel that there's a bit of a stop of the flow of financial stuff, whatever the case may be. I don't want to say scarcity, but there's going to be this, the balance of flow is not going to be quite proper. And it's going to be impacted by or impact your ability to see this sun coming and shining on you and hitting the snooze button every so many minutes. And the problem with that is not so much that you're going to struggle with when this blocked flow happens, because I feel like for the most part, you're going to be able to arrange yourself, arrange your finances, arrange your budget to be able to handle whatever this is that crops up. The problem is that as a result of it cropping up towards the end of the month, there's going to be this fear of scarcity that'll kind of cause not to spend when you should be spending. And when we stop the flow of money, then that means no flow can come in. It'd be like putting up a dam. Now, obviously, that doesn't mean go and splurge. You still want to be very mindful of it. But when you're spending your money, you want to be doing it. You don't want to be doing it from a place of scarcity. And when you are budgeting, you don't want it to be from a place of fear of scarcity. And so I feel that that is going to be a bit of a conundrum, because there's going to be something that occurs in the beginning of the month physically within your world financially that's going to have you kind of do a little bit of wiggling with the money and the finances and the budgeting. And as a result of that, towards the end of the month, there's just going to be this bit of a panic that'll make you not want to spend anything, not want to find any joy in the money that you have. And whenever we start blocking money, the struggle with that is that it's like having a dam, and things can't flow then. Eventually, the whole flow stops. So you want the process of the flow to continue, but you just got to find that sweet spot that allows you to stay within your budget, but not be living and spending within that frame of fear, if that makes sense. Emotionally, we have the Five of Pentacles, and I feel that this is just kind of tied into whatever this is that's going to be happening, that's going to have you start to kind of operate and look at your budget from a standpoint of fear of scarcity. It's going to start impact on your emotional status. And this is so understandable. So this is no criticism or judgment on my part. It's just kind of, when you have those moments where you feel a bit snappier than you usually are, or you're frustrated enough that you're taking it out on those who you love and will still love you even if you're a bit grumpy, take time to take a step back and to kind of focus on what it is that makes you lash out emotionally. And if you have someone who you can confide in, especially if it's your partner in life, who's then also a partner in some facet with the budget and the finances, be able to take time to communicate with them how you feel emotionally as a result of the budget and the financing and what have you, because they might be able to help you in ways that you don't perceive. And at the very least, having someone who's down in the trenches with you to help bring you back up is always kind of nice. Even if it's emotional support, it's always nice. But because of whatever it is that's going to occur that might have you feeling you need to tighten the belt a little bit financially, it's going to impact you emotionally. So just be very mindful of your emotional status. And if you noticed that you are grumpier and lashing out more emotionally, take a step back and check in and see if that's attached to how you're feeling as a result of the finances, and then do whatever you need to do to make sure that you are being kind to yourself and hopefully not residing in a place of fear and anxiety from scarcity, because this isn't long term, I don't believe, for the general public. Spiritually, we have Lovers, and this is connections, and it's the kind of connections when we are going through times of hardship. So when everything's perfect, when everything's going with natural, beautiful, unrestricted flow, and we don't have to work for it, we don't have to think about it, we don't have to do any checking in, we don't give any thought or process or anything regarding how we are connected spiritually. But there's a few things that's going to arise, that's going to happen in this whole entire process of the month of February, that as a result of it, it's going to have you reaching out and connecting to your higher power, whatever that may be, in a different way that you haven't done in a really long time. So this is going to be one of those weird blessings in disguise when we have a moment to take a step back and take a breath and able to see how we can make good out of whatever it is that occurs. But there's some connections that are going to happen spiritually with you, and how you perceive and the way that you define your connection and the depth of the connection that you have with your higher power. And it's going to come as a result of this emotional and the tightening of the belt that you'll feel the need. And as also that connection that you'll have whenever you start feeling like, oh, okay, finally the sun has stopped hitting the snooze button, is finally rising, and I can rise too. It's all kind of play into each other. They're all going to feed each other a little bit, especially if you see it and you take advantage of it. If you see these vibrations for what they are and where they can take you, and you go with them, you have the potential of really connecting on a higher level spiritually that'll take you so much further than you've been in a really long time. And I feel like some of you, as far as your spiritual connection is concerned, there hasn't been a lot of that you haven't tapped into yourself spiritually on this level in a while. Like, it's not that you haven't been spiritual, you still have your beliefs, but it's kind of like walking. You don't have to think about walking unless suddenly you have to walk on stones that are in water and you don't want to slip and fall. Now you have to pay attention to walking. Walking's second nature, but now you can't just walk across the stones like you're walking on flat ground. Now you have to actually take the time to be conscientious of each step and make sure that you don't slip and fall into the water. And so the spiritual part of yourself has always been present, just like being able to walk. You've always been connected, but as a result of the month and as the month progresses, it's going to be like the stepping stones, but not so much that you're afraid of falling into water as much as you're just going to be conscientious because you want the connection to each stone to be something fulfilling. So hopefully that makes sense. So I went ahead and pulled a card from an oracle deck to kind of wrap all the energies up and give you something to carry you with you as you progress through the month. And I actually ended up pulling out 2 cards, and we have connection to earthly possessions along with healthy. And I feel that this is just your reminder of that what's going to transpire that's going to impact that financial aspect of your life in February, and how you're going to have to look at it. Try to do your best to keep your focus on a healthy standpoint. Like, again, I really believe that the biggest thing is try not to reside in a position of fear, anxiety, and scarcity. Even when we're not feeling abundant and we don't feel like our budget in our wallet is abundant, we should try our best to try to still spend the money from a place of feeling abundant. And so recognizing what we do have, and not fear what we don't have. And I know that's easier said than done in some cases, and I'm not sure exactly how this is going to unfold for each and every one of you, but you know how it is. And so whenever it's unfolding, however deep that you are in this, please, tap into the conscientious of making sure your possession, your connection to these possessions are healthy for you, or healthy for the heart, mind, body, and soul, so that, your connections within the heart, mind, body, and soul can remain healthy as well. So, all right, Capricorn, I hope that helps you progress through the month of February and helps you to prepare for whatever it is that might come your way. And I do hope that you end up having a relatively great month of February, and hopefully I will see you in March.